This video ain't a part of my Project Santana video series. I thought it'd be a good time to do something a little bit different. I keep hearing online discourse at the moment about the death of hobbies. I want to weigh in on the discussion. Now, there are plenty of people online talking right now about how hobbies are dying because people are perfectionists, or because hobbies are cringe, or because the world sucks, or whatever other bullshit excuses people have for doing fuck all but be miserable. So fuck that. I am not engaging with that side of this discussion. I don't see any point in discussing a topic like this without putting in some work to finding a solution to the problem. Last year, I broke up with a girlfriend. There was a myriad of reasons as to why that relationship just didn't work. But one of the main reasons is that she never did anything with her time. I reflected on this whole experience quite deeply and realized that there are a lot of people like her. Not psychopaths, but people with no drive, no purpose, and nothing to build. And you know, that makes me rather sad. Some people can't be saved. Some people want to do something, but don't know how to do it. I want to help people find something to do that they find fulfilling. And I think hobbies are where many people can find that fulfillment. According to the Oxford English Dictionary, Cambridge English Dictionary, and the Encyclopedia Britannica, a hobby is defined as an activity that a person does for pleasure when not working. I find this definition inadequate. Because if doing anything outside of work is a hobby, then by this definition, going home after a long day in the office and shooting heroin is a hobby. And I'm not even going to entertain that line of thought. I saw enough of that behavior in my hometown to know the difference between a hobby and a vice. I think that dictionary definition is bullshit. To me, a hobby requires one fundamental component that the dictionary definition lacks: potential for cultivatable skill. More important than having this skill component, though, is that what makes a hobby and not a vocation is that the person engages in the hobby regardless of their own personal skill level and without financial reward. They do it for the love of the game. I would argue that there are two types of hobbies: active hobbies and creative hobbies, both of which sit on their own spectrums. I contend that having one hobby isn't enough, and that by having both an active hobby and a creative hobby has life-changing benefits. Let me tell you why. Creativity is a dichotomy. No creative thought comes from the void. There is always some exterior inspiration that acts as the impetus for creative thought. That inspiration, through the creative process, is worked and refined, and at the end, a thing is made. A painting, a song, a pair of shoes, a movie, a crochet scarf. All of these things are the end result of the creative process and act as the impetus for another creation. The thing is, it is all far too easy to consume the creativity of other people, watch the movies, listen to the songs, buy the figurines and the clothes and the shoes, and it all feels meaningless. Eat the fast food you've been advertised to 7 times on your commute to work, and hollow. Watch the endless streams of dopamine dispensed every 20 seconds, and soulless. Look, 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 buy, consume, 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 dead. Shit, I was talking about hobbies, wasn't I? I would say that the creative hobby spectrum is on one side consumptive and the other creative. On the consumptive side of the spectrum are activities like listening to music, watching movies, playing video games, reading novels, purchasing collectibles, collecting clothing and jewelry, watching tutorials, etc. These activities fucking slam you with meticulously crafted instant gratification through short-term dopamine hits. They are designed to hook you and keep you engaged with their product. I'm not saying that consumptive hobbies are inherently bad. Many have quantifiable neurological advantages from engaging with them, and often they are required for the inspiration of creativity. What I am saying is they do not offer the same benefits as creative hobbies. So what makes a creative hobby a creative hobby? It's in the name, innit? It's when you create something that didn't exist until you made it. This isn't your profession though, is it? You don't have to be the best at your hobby to enjoy it, although I'm not gonna lie, it does help. You do it because you want to. In all fairness to the discussion, there are some negatives to creative hobbies, like the fact they're often solitary endeavors, at times stressful, and often aren't as cheap as consumptive hobbies. That last point, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret though. you don't pay for your consumption with money. Not really. You pay with hours of your life, a currency that is a magnitude more valuable and less abundant than any other currency, so you'd better spend it wisely. Let's say that you only have consumptive hobbies. How can you find a creative hobby that speaks to you? I'm going to use movies as an example because that's what led me to choose my hobby in video production. What are the fundamental components of making movies though? Scripts, cinematography, sound design, set design, costuming, and acting. We can break this down further though. Cinematography has many niches. For example, shooting video, editing, lighting, creating CGI, photography, animation, practical effects, and audio recording. Acting could include dance, fight choreography, stunts, horse riding, stage performance, or more. Sound design could be making music or landscapes or sound effects. Set design could be matte painting, creating dioramas, prop making, vehicle design and restoration, architectural design, CGI landscaping, etc. Costuming could be making clothes or jewelry, shoemaking or knitting, smithing weapons and crafting sci-fi armor, makeup and tattoo design. Script writing could lead to writing novels, comics, stand-up comedy, video scripts, song lyrics, etc. There's so much shit you could do, bro. So much fucking shit you could do. Do you see what I'm getting at? Your consumptive hobby has so many avenues for you to find a thing for you to be passionate about, to invest your time and energy into making something amazing. Hopefully, this example can be applied to whatever you're interested in to help you find that thing that you're passionate about. It just requires you to fucking do it. For those of you who never had a creative hobby before and are new to the experience but don't know what to expect, there may be times when you find the hobby you're doing tedious or uninteresting, and that's okay. You don't have to enjoy every aspect of your hobby to enjoy it as a whole. I fucking hate writing these captions, then translating them into Chinese, then timing them to my video. But it's worth my hard work to create a video that I know thousands of people can enjoy. Creative hobbies often require you to accept a certain level of delayed gratification. But when you're beginning your project, remember that having something that you've worked on for days, weeks, or months finally finished is an unmatched feeling of accomplishment. I know there are going to be a fair few people who are going to say, AI is just going to replace all this stuff anyway. What's the point? The point is, fuck you, suck my dick, keep being a little bitch, and never do anything cool with the very limited time you have in life. What happens when this AI avalanche comes anyway? We're just going to get universal basic income and lay down and doom scroll on TikTok or YouTube or Douyin or whatever. Our existence is reduced to useless slabs of meat. Fuck, I mean, we are going to need something to make life worth living. We might as well start now. Get up and get on it, son. Much like how I define creative hobbies as consumptive and creative, I see physical hobbies in much the same way, with these hobbies being on a passive-active spectrum. On the passive side of the spectrum, you'll see activities like watching sports, discussing sports strategy, watching tutorials. I would even include going to restaurants and bars in this category. Whereas on the active side of the spectrum, you might find activities like dance, martial arts, playing football, rock climbing, mountain biking, weightlifting, drift racing, etc. If you have some good suggestions for active hobbies that you or other people might enjoy, then write them down in the comments section because you might inspire somebody to pick up the hobby. Now, we all know that physical fitness contributes to better mental, physical, and even hormonal health. That is an indisputable fact. Active hobbies, like creative hobbies, also fulfill that criteria of a hobby needing a cultivatable skill. Even lifting heavy things requires technique and the ability to get good. Just don't fall into the trap of making your hobby watching tutorials or collecting equipment. It is too easily done and really just falling back into the passive side of your hobby. The same goes for creative hobbies too. If you're going to learn via video, then practice what you've been taught. The real power of active hobbies that makes up for a major weakness in creative hobbies is that active hobbies require you to go outside. They give you ample opportunity to meet new people, create friendships, and expand your social skills. Often, they require you to engage in social situations, but it's low stakes. Everyone who is there doing the same thing as you has something to focus on that isn't you. You don't have to worry about what other people think about you. Just have fun. So, If you got this far in this video, you're probably wondering why I'm saying all this. What experience do I have that makes me want to spend a month and a half making a video to tell you to get a hobby? About 3 years ago, I started going to the gym and lifting weights because I'd gotten pretty fat and I had an alcohol abuse problem. I've lost a ton of weight and haven't touched alcohol since. You probably couldn't tell that I go to the gym 5 days a week by looking at me though, right? I don't have single-digit body fat and huge muscles. I probably just don't have the genetics for building muscle, and I'm not that strict with my diet. There absolutely has been some progress with my physique and overall strength in the past few years though. I go to the gym because I enjoy it. It's a place for me to push myself and relax my mind, and occasionally spend some time with some really cool people. Around 2 years ago, I came to China to work and experience life here. I'd already spent some time in the country, so I knew which city I wanted to be in. I had these grand ideas of making a movie set in the city because of its unique architecture, culture, and atmosphere. But I didn't know where to start with that. For a long time, I've been unimpressed with the modern movie industry, so I thought if no one else was going to make changes, then I would. I decided that my best route for getting into movies as a creator was via cinematography, developing real skills applicable to my goal. I was not aware of how difficult a task it would be to learn to shoot video, let alone make cinema. I bought myself a camera, watched some tutorials, and went out and shot the city. I had no idea what I was doing and no real goal in mind. I was just using the camera as an excuse to go the fuck outside and explore and develop some skills. It was a lot of fun, and I learned a lot. After about a year of playing with the camera, I'd realized that I'd accumulated quite a lot of gear that I needed for my particular camera setup. Tripods, lights, lenses, microphones, etc. And carrying 30 plus kilograms worth of camera equipment around with me was ruining my back. The solution to this is the perfect example of how a hobby could change your life. For the first time in my life, at the age of 31, I decided that I needed a car. I'd always been happy in the past just walking places or getting the buses or subway or taxis, but now public transport just wasn't gonna cut it for my ambitions. However, I didn't have a driving license in China or the UK, so I set out learning to drive here from a teacher who mostly only spoke Chongqinghua. It was a wild experience and possibly one of the most challenging things I'd ever done, but in the end, I got that license. Then came buying the car. I wanted something a little more unique than a BYD or a Toyota, but I also didn't have the kind of money you need for a car like a Hi-Fi. I got this idea that I could buy an old car and modify it, maybe some JDM car or something. Then I saw it. I saw a Santana and knew that was going to be the car for me. I could see so much potential in what I could do to modify an old VW shitbox. And more importantly, I could see some inspiration for a video series I could create. Finally, a reason to put my training in shooting video and editing into practice. That is what started this channel. What I'm trying to say is that by being passionate about something and getting myself actively involved in some hobbies, I found myself on a completely different life trajectory. I've met some fantastic people and done some fucking amazing things. Shit, I mean, at this point, over 100,000 people have watched my videos, and that's fucking insane. I don't know if I'll ever make a movie. Maybe one day it will happen. Look, do what you want with your life. But if you've gotten this far into this video, then something I said is probably resonating with you. Get up, take a risk, try something new.